Hi YouTube, welcome to another video from me, Richcovephoto, and I'm broadcasting live this evening, Sunday evening at 8 o'clock, and I'm waiting for Tony Lee Glenn to join me. Hopefully he'll be along soon. That was something just fell over in the room. Now, I guess the new thing is with this live lark for me is that if something like that does happen, I don't have an opportunity to rewind or stop and cut and do all those sorts of things. So this will be purely live and just waiting for Tony to join me. He should be along soon. And as the title suggests, we are going to do a review on the Sony. Not sure if I've even set it up right, to be honest. It's such a nightmare trying to set this up. You think it would be easy to do, you know, and I'm pretty savvy when it comes to tech and everything, but it seems when I try and set these Google Hangouts up, it just causes me aggro. So let's see what happens. Hopefully Tony will join me. I should have brought my phone in. It would have might have helped, just to see if we could link up. Don't know how to invite other people. Let me see if Tony says he's trying to connect now, but hopefully we will connect at some point. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I wonder how I invite people. That's apps, draw, Google Effects, control room. What's control room? No. I wonder how this all works. I might well have to go and get my phone actually and see if Tony is trying to contact me.
Saying the live video broadcast will begin soon. Don't know if I should go to the YouTube page. I thought that let's double check here. Hopefully I've got the links right.
I think.
Hey Rich, I am watching you and hearing you, but you're not hearing me. Let me see if I'm doing something wrong.
It's probably me, Tony, to be quite honest. I'm not quite sure how. I thought I invited you, so you must be able to see me. I guess I'm broadcasting live on YouTube as well. He's just sent me another message, so I'm going to listen to that.
Rich, I can see you just fine. I'm trying my best to figure out how to get it so you can see me.
I guess I need to invite you, Tony, somehow. I'm not quite sure how to do that. Gotta love these live broadcasts. Chat. Oh, hang on. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so I just sent Tony an invitation, so hopefully he will join me quite soon. I'm just going to send him another quick message on my phone. Hi Tony, Rich here. I've just sent you a link inviting you to join the broadcast. I hope that works. I can see he's watching. There's one viewer watching what I'm doing because I've only invited Tony into this because we were going to talk about this Sony FDR-AX33. I can't even say it now. The Sony FDR-AX. Oh, there he is. He's joined me.
Okay, check this out.
Send him another quick message on my phone.
Okay. Hang on a second. Okay, so I am going to pause or stop or something this other one here. Let's see, hit pause. So you are seeing me here via my Google Nexus or whatever this thing is, my little pad. So this is kind of cool. I guess I can walk around. So we're recording now. I guess I'm just the small screen there, and you may have to switch the screens back or forth so people can see me. So I don't know I don't know how that is controlled.
It's doing it automatically. As soon as I start to talk, it switches over to me.
Wow. Okay, so this is kind of weird and different. I could not get it to work with my with my computer. So there you are, frozen on that computer.
Madness.
No worries, though. We're here and we're talking.
And going live to the world, by the way, so don't forget that bit.
We are going live right now.
I guess it's connected to YouTube, isn't it? So.
Well, we're in a Hangout, and I don't know if it's going live. If it's going live to YouTube, then I guess probably so. What I had done last week with Daryl Cheeks, or whatever it was, the week before last, was we did a kind of a private Google Hangout, and it recorded the whole thing, and then it went live when I told it to go live.
Right.
So maybe it's the same sort of thing now, unless are people starting to chime in or anything? So we didn't invite anyone, but just you and I, right?
Yeah, I don't have any viewers, so yeah, because we wanted to talk about the camera and do this with you. So you're the only person that's invited to join in.
Well, let's talk, my friend. How have you been doing?
Not too bad, actually. At least the weather has cheered up in the UK slightly. It's a bit drab today. It's a bit grey, but we're being warned of a heat wave next week, so that will be nice. We're actually going to get up to about 30 degrees. We won't know what to do with ourselves.
Wow. Well, it's like it's being a heat wave here, and I don't know what the range for this Google Net, or I've got the, I think it's a Nexus 7 is what I'm looking at, but I'll walk out here on the porch and show you what it looks like out here. Hopefully everything will still broadcast. So it's absolutely gorgeous here. I don't know if how's that looking, Rich? Can you even see?
Yeah, all looking good to me.
And so it's actually one of the cooler days that we've had here in a while. It's been a heat wave, but it's probably today upper 70s, which would be very comfortable here in the southeast. So yeah, this is kind of liberating to be able to walk around and talk to you with this thing. I actually kind of maybe like it better. It's just you're not seeing such a large field of view here. There's the Sony. Is that the camera we're going to talk about today, or are we going to talk about some other stuff?
That's
there
the
one. So far, so good with mine. How about yours?
Yeah, I had no problems with it at all.
Did you see the little cinematic thing that I posted yesterday?
Yeah, I like that a lot. It looks brilliant.
That was all shot with the Sony and edited in Premiere Pro. And, so far, like I say, I've not had one downside using that Sony that I can think of, other than the fact that the viewfinder outside, unless you're looking through the eyepiece, is kind of useless. I mean, it's great inside, and it's a beautiful viewfinder. It's just when you're out in bright sunlight, you've got to look through that eyepiece. At least I do.
Yeah, I think that's the same with most cameras, though, isn't it? Most with the flip-out screen. I know my old JVC had a flip-out screen, but it didn't have an eyepiece, and it was a little tricky to use in bright sunlight.
How have you been enjoying the zoom on that, Rich? I mean, and by that, I tell you what I'm getting at here is, I think when it goes into artificial zoom, at least for the first 20% or so that you go beyond true optical, I think it's usable. I'm just curious what your take on that is.
Yeah, I think if you use once you hit the times 10 optical zoom, you can go over it, like you said, about 20%, and I think you can, if you post edit it, you can get it quite sharp. It's only when you go further into you know, when you're going up into the 20s, it starts to go all a bit blurry. I shot some video the other day and I did some tests at 10 and then at full zoom, and you can definitely see the softness in it as it gets closer to the fake zoom, as we call it, on the camera. So 10 is brilliant. I reckon it's probably about 13, 14 maybe that you can go to before it even starts to fuzz out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best. It's the best fake zoom I've used so far, and so that has been a pleasant surprise for me. I mean, I find myself dipping into that digital zoom a little more than I never would with the other cameras, not with the Canons at all. Hey, I'm gonna try to turn this thing sideways, Rich. See, does it turn my whole head sideways, or does it? Oh, there we go. Is that more usable for our video purposes, we think?
Yeah, that's a bit better actually. The only thing that is, and the same with that's always across the Atlantic, is the slight difference on the voice that I'm getting from you.
And it might be different if I were using the computer over there. I just could not for the life of it. There's something we're not mastering about Google Plus. There's that little something weird about it, and you know, as awesome as Google is and the tools that they give us and everything, they should make this a little simpler, shouldn't they? I mean, it's aggravating to me. I'm actually, as I watch you, your mouth matches up really well with what you're saying.
Yeah, I think you're right with the Google thing. I think it's not an easy process to do. I guess if I do it more often, I'll get used to it. But it doesn't seem to be really forthcoming to say, here's a Google Hangout. What time do you want to do it? Send your invites to these people. It looks like you can include people in your circles and things, but it's even then I had to send you the link manually once I'd set it up.
Rich, I'm gonna go back to talking about the FDR-AX33 for a minute. Have you been shooting most things in 60 megs per second or 100?
A bit of both, really. Changing in between, but most of the video footage that I've shot has been 1080p. Now I've got, as you know, I bought a couple of 4K tellies, so I'm going to start shooting a bit more. I have shot some stuff in 4K, but just for personal use, not for going on to YouTube. One, because the broadband speeds in my area are really slow, even with the top package. Once you get a lot of people online, it slows it right down. So a lot of it has been 1080p, 60, and I've shot 4K at 100. And the camera performs brilliantly in whatever setting I have it set in. Have you seen any difference in the different settings?
Well, yeah, I've moved to another location where there was better light. Plus, I'm only now about 10 feet from the box up here, so hopefully we'll be able to get maybe a little better reception that way. But yeah, I've noticed, I shoot almost everything in 4K now, 60 megs per second. I guess that's what I was trying to get at. And then they had the 100 meg per second setting. I have done a lot of my outdoor scenery and stuff in 100 meg just to see if it was much difference in quality. It seems to be using the new Premiere. Now I'm using Premiere a lot. That the bit depth seems really great if you shoot that one. Go ahead and shoot that 100 meg per second. I'm able to pull a whole lot out of the shadows. I'm able to do some just fantastic looking color grading effects, a bit better than I can when I'm shooting in a 60 meg per second. So I'm shooting a whole lot 4K, only 60 megs per second when I just think I'm going to be shooting a lot and want to save some space on that SD card. But I'm shooting almost everything 100 megs per second. And just so you'll know here, I've got my buddy with me now. There's Nico. This is really kind of neat being able to hold this thing and talk with you. But yeah, I mean, so that's what I was wondering is are you using the 100 meg per second, like the full steam ahead type thing, or so you're shooting a lot of 1080p with it still?
Yeah, shooting that. And what I found is you do 4K at 100, even at 60, it does massive files.
Oh yeah, yeah, they are huge. They're huge files, and I'm trying to limit the I guess what I'm trying to do is only when I shoot in 100 meg per second, I'm trying to only shoot the things I really think I'm going to use. It's making me a little more selective. I'm thinking, okay, I might use 30 seconds of this. I won't shoot a minute of it. I'll try to shoot 35 or 40 seconds of it. And so I'm focusing. It's making me focus a little bit more. One of my subscribers sent me a message saying that there's actually some sort of little adapter. He may have sent me the link to it. But there's apparently some sort of little adapter that you can connect to the new Sony and hook it up to a hard drive, and you can actually back up your, without having to have a computer, back up from the Sony onto a USB hard drive. Have you heard of this?
No, that's not something I've heard of, but something I want.
Yeah, me too. So I'll have to go back and look. He had told me about it through Facebook. I asked him for the link. I've just not gone back and checked and see if he's done it. But I'll maybe share that on the GoPro guys' website, even though it's not a GoPro issue, it's a Sony issue. But maybe we need to have also a Sony guys' website, Facebook page.
Yeah, make sure you send me that link as well, and I'll stick that onto to my site, and I'll also probably buy one of those. It'd be good just to offload that without taking my laptop with me everywhere I go, especially if I'm shooting a lot and being able to download it quickly would be great.
He had told me that the adapter is available through Amazon for less than $5. So it's some sort of little connector that you can use to connect that Sony into just a regular hard drive, and it will just transport over to it without having to have a computer. That would be great to have a little pocket terabyte drive or something you take and you back up all your stuff.
Okay. How are you finding the best bit of this camera for me, and you know we've spoken about it before, is the stabilization on that lens is just absolutely first class. It's better than the AX100 because that really didn't have it. But this new Boss system, what they call it, is just superb.
Yeah, to answer your question, it is great, isn't it? You're right. Of all the things that's really good about it, I like the look of it anyway, but the stabilization's fantastic. Those little things that I shot yesterday when I did that little, cinematic example. So if you want to go to my YouTube page and look at it, it's just, I think it's called Making Cinematic Video 2.4:1 ratio. All that was done handheld. There was no tripod. And you can see very slight movements, but you have to understand a lot of those flowers, I was shooting them from the porch while the rain was going, so I couldn't get out. The flowers might have been 50, 100 feet away from me. And I'm zoomed right up tight on them, sometimes in just slightly artificial zoom. And there's just, like here I'm moving my thing now, there was like not even this much movement in that camera at any point. And if I'd shot that with the Canon before, it would have been this kind of thing all the time. I mean, it was horrible to try to do that when you're shooting with the old Canons. And that Sony, it's amazing. So I can, you can walk around pretty good with it. And particularly if you really think about what you're doing as you're walking, you can almost make it look like a Steadicam. I've done some. I did some shooting a couple weeks ago in the hospital for a training video we were doing, and they wanted a shot that looked like you were rolling down the hall on a dolly down one of the hallways toward an emergency room. And I said, let me just really be careful with it and just walk and see if I can do it. And so sure enough, I was in 4K, 100 megs per second. I walked maybe 30 feet down the hall towards the swinging doors, like you're on a, imagine you're on a stretcher or something being rolled into an emergency room. It looked very believable. It actually looked like I was on a rolling dolly. So that's how good it is. You can just go handheld with it, and it looks fantastic.
Because I've heard some rumors on the internet from like producers and things that they, as soon as they heard about the optical balance, the Boss system in the camera, they went out and bought the camera to like put it alongside the AX100, who has a bigger sensor, as you well know, but the smaller sensor, I guess they didn't really like that, but they liked the stabilization of the lens. So they were shooting in both and using that for the zoom in shots and stability, or any shots like you've just shot, any other in your professional status, you're able to use that as a dolly really to get the good shot that you need. And I guess that's what they were doing. So that was the first thing they did and went out and bought that because of that stabilization. It is the best thing on the camera. And on the other end of the scale, the worst thing for me is, if I show you, this bit is great because, like we said earlier, it's great in the sunlight. But what I find is this battery is always pushing up against my face, or it's not as comfortable as I'd like it to be. And especially with the extendable battery that comes out here, it's almost impossible to get your face without having the battery mark on your face. But I guess it's just using it over time and just getting it. But that was the worst bit that I found. Some older cameras that I've had, these things have been a bit longer. I don't know how you found using that.
Yeah, that extended battery, the extended batteries are fantastic, and I love having that feature, knowing that you've got a battery that'll last nearly 4 hours, because those batteries that we're using now from, I can't remember the name of the company we got those from, but what is it called? Anyway, at any rate, Power Extra, I think, is who made those batteries. Power Extra. You're right. I mean, unless you tilt that little eyepiece backward, upward, like what you just did there, then you can find room for your nose and your cheek. If you're trying to look straight on, which is the more natural way to use it, then it becomes very hard to do it. You're just smashing your face into that. I wish there was some sort of another way to view, and I don't know what the answer to that would be. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I don't know. The only way I know to use it out in bright sunlight, which is where I use it most of the time, because I'm doing a lot of nature stuff, is just to lean that thing forward, press my eye against it the best I can, and then you can see that, looking through the viewfinder is great. Looking through the, in other words, the eyepiece. And once again, when you're inside, the display on that viewfinder is fantastic. Don't think it's bad. It's not. But yeah, the ergonomics of the camera are a little challenging because of that. But there again, you're right. Almost every camcorder in that style, that smaller, compact style, is that way. So I don't know what the get around for that is, but I have to say this: the video from it, I think, is good enough to do an independent film, no problem. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know if your assessment would be the same or not, but I think it's good enough.
Yeah, easy. There's no reason why you couldn't pick up this camera and go and shoot a film with it. It has all the attributes that they would use on a big camera. Also the stability of it is the good thing that they'd like, so they could shoot without having great big. If they were going to shoot something up in the mountains, they don't need to take all their gear with them. They just take this camera because they know that it will give them what they need. I think, it's got the hot shoe on the top that you can put your lights in and things like that. The sound quality as well on this is, I was down at the beach. I think I've uploaded the video, it's due to come out soon on my channel, and the wind was blowing and I was talking, and I could still hear myself. It was just brilliant. You could hear the wind, but you could actually hear my voice. When I got back to the studio, I was messing around with it a bit and decided to do a voiceover in the end, because I turned around quite a lot and the wind was getting excessive. And although it wasn't blocking out my voice, it was becoming a bit annoying. So I decided to just use my studio recording just to record over the top of the video. But the sound quality is just great. And also you've got the sound monitor in here. I don't know if you've used that. There's this little button up the top. So what it uses is more people that you're filming, it will use their voice more than it will use your voice if you're behind the camera.
I did not know that. You just taught me something. Yeah, the only thing, I will say this, you're right about the audio. The audio is fantastic. And the wind has to blow very hard before it becomes a problem. It's got a good windscreen in it. The thing I have noticed is when I have my face pressed up against that, I hear a whole lot of my breath. And so maybe that's something I could change that. Maybe I could change it so that it's more forward aiming with the audio than rear, because it's catching a lot of me going, you don't realize that the sound coming out of your nose is so prominent when your face is up against that camcorder.
Sure.
But yeah, great audio functionality with it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like the zoom ring. I like the fact that ring is programmable to all the different things. If you want to set it to be iris, if you want to set it to be focus, if you want it to be zoom. It's super easy to go in there and change that. Sometimes resetting it can be a little tricky, but I figured out how to do that pretty well, and so now I'm pretty quick with the focus and zoom ring. I just like everything about it, and in the end product, the video that I get from it is really nice. So that's and that's ultimately what you want. You want functionality, but you want really good results on the end. And I've so far I'm shooting everything in sort of almost an automatic setting. I mean, I go in and mess with it with my software, and all my adjustments look great. It doesn't blow anything out overly or anything. Stabilization's great. Audio's great. There's nothing really to hate about it. You know, no. I totally dig it. So I have people say, well, why not go with the DSLR? Well, you know, I still think there are advantages to having a camera, a camcorder, and having that lens barrel in there and set up so that it is 100% for video, not just, I mean, it shoots decent photos too, but I like to shoot video with a camcorder, not with a DSLR. Some people would argue differently. It is cool to be able to switch out lenses, I guess, but I'm still a camcorder. Hold the camcorder in your hand and zoom with it. Hey, Nikki. She's moving around back there in the back. So thanks to Nikki for helping us get this going, because I could not get connected at all. She was the one who grabbed the Nexus 7 and came running in here with it.
I think, and also with it's all right using a digital SLR, but the stabilization, because I was in the decision of making either buying a new 5D Canon or buying this camera. There was a choice where I spent my money, and I think it was the stabilization that sold it to me. I couldn't get that with a digital SLR. Even if I put my 120 to 500 zoom on, I'm never going to hold that still, not in my hand. So, you know, this is the main reason I bought that camera, and that's not let me down at all. I think the focus maybe sometimes it just comes off. If there's something in the way, it will pick up the thing that's closest to you a bit quicker than it does in the background, but that's something that's not a problem. Most of the time I can just edit that out post-edit. So I think that's why, if it looks like I'm on fire this side, it's because the sun has decided to set down behind the clouds and come out. Right.
So it's like a 8:30 where you are, and I know the sun doesn't go down till about what, 10:30 at night, really, in England now. Was it about 10:15 or something like that?
No, it's going down a bit early now, because we had the longest day was obviously the summer solstice till 3 days ago. So now it's getting darker 2 minutes every day. But it's been really overcast today, so as the sun is dropping down between those clouds there, it's just coming through the window. But I've got my lights on and everything. That's why I look bright and breezy. Makeup.
Hey, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, carry on.
I was going to say, okay, so switching gears just a little bit, all this stuff you've been seeing us do with the DJI Phantom, Jamie Hastings and me, you've also been watching Danny with his Solo. It's tough to watch these guys with that stuff and not really want it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I want it, and you know, I probably got quite close, probably yesterday, to buying one. I'm still twiddling my fingers because I want to buy myself a powerful PC. Yeah. I'm going to move away from Mac and get myself a new PC. I think that's the plan, just because Karen can use it as well, because I know she doesn't really like Mac at all. So at least if I have that and I've got my new studio and everything set up, we can all use it and everyone feels comfortable with it. So it will have hopefully some mega power to it to help me edit and do all those things really quickly. Premiere Pro will be going on it because that's outstanding. So that's sort of where my next investment's going to be. And like I used to the other day, I bought 2 4K TVs, so that's been a bit of money. And now it's just making sure that as much as I just want to go and buy a DJI now, especially the Pro, looks amazing. I need to just spend, otherwise I'm going to get it. It's July now. I'll probably use it through July and some of August, and then it'll be winter back in the UK again, and the wind and rain will be here, so won't get to use it as much.
The thing I am liking is that it opens up just a huge amount of possibilities of just, places you've been to before. Sorry about the way that I'm holding the thing, but the places you've been to before, the places you visited before, and you can go back to them and give everyone a whole new perspective, and give yourself one. I mean, it's, to me, it's incredible. All these places that I know and love, and then getting to see them from the air is incredible. And that's one of the things I do like about the fact you're using the Sony now, Rich, is that you're going out now to places that you've shown us with GoPros, where we've looked at things from a long distance away, and now you're zooming in a bit and you're showing us things closer. And I'm digging that when I watch your channel. Is that I'm able to see, different, just different perspectives. It might be the same thing you've shared before. So to me, one of the things I would say to you is, go back to some of the places you've been. Take that Sony and show us what things look like, the zoom-ins and everything. Particularly, again, the ships and stuff. I'm going to go back and watch anything you put out with the ships from long distance, or anything you can zoom in on that you've not zoomed in on before. Go back and show us and post that. And I think people will enjoy seeing it. I mean, I know I will. I mean, that's just me putting it out there. I mean, anything you're going to do, though, that goes out and tells a story, I'm going to watch it. So, I guess I see the Phantom as a really great new tool for that. Anytime you get up off the ground, things look totally different than you thought they did. And then also, just having new tools that will do new things. The GoPros totally changed the way I shoot video. Now I'm sort of transitioning back toward traditional video, still using the GoPro, doing some driving videos and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I think all the tools you can have in your bag if you're into video, whether it's a quadcopter, a really great zoomable camera, really great action cam, good software to edit with, it all helps you tell the stories better, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think some of the stuff that we have now that we couldn't have even dreamed of 5 years or 10 years ago, it was a long way off. Quality was really poor on the videos. You had 720 at a push if you spent lots of money. So we've come a long way, and all the tools together, like that cinematic bit that you've done earlier, your latest video that you put out, is just stunning to be able to think that you can stand in your garden with $1,000 or £1,000 Sony, shoot that and edit it through Premiere Pro and get it to that sort of quality. It's quite scary. People must be, big directors must be worried about it.
The only thing we don't have is a story. If we had, that's where, here's what I think about all this whole revolution with video, is we have the tools now where regular old guys like you and I can do it, but now it all comes back to story again. What story are we going to tell? Do we have, now it comes back to, is someone a good writer? Is someone spinning a good yarn? And then, guys like us can point and shoot at it and make it look great. And production value is within the hands of almost anyone now. But still, it keeps coming back to, is the story worth telling? And so what I'm looking for now in my mind is a story. And, it's easier to do documentary type things, to ride around and show people stuff and share places. The magic of a movie and the real money that's made there is entertainment, is telling a story, or bringing some kind of really compelling something to somebody. And that's what's the challenge. It always is, isn't it? So now it's going to come back to some fundamentals. I have subscribers that say, hey, look at this, I'm able to do cinematic look, or I'm able to create this or that or the other thing. And I say, that is awesome. Now go shoot some great video to start posting it for us. And that's where the rubber meets the road. And that's what I'm it's sort of like I struggle with, because that's what takes time. That's what takes that's where art meets technology and meets all these cool tools that we have.
Mm. Yeah, that's where the skill is, isn't it? In the writing, rather than the. We can all do that now. We can all do the editing and you know, all the production. But when it comes to actually writing the story, you're quite right. That's the key. That's the whole success to the film. You look at Blair Witch.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Blair Witch was terrible production quality, but it was a fairly scary little notion. And you know, I keep looking back. One of my favorite movies ever, you know, it was Sling Blade that Billy Bob Thornton did. And when you look at the production quality on that, it's terrible. We could have done that 10 years ago with the little camcorders we had, but it was a good story. You know, it was written well, acted well. It made him a superstar, and really it was just all really about telling a story. Shot with available light, no fancy lights or anything. Shot in houses, not on sound stages. So yeah, I mean that's where I think now is the time for writers to come back into the game, and you know, we're like YouTube. YouTube allows us all to broadcast some cool stuff and share things with people. Now is when I do my goal in the next couple of years is to come up with a script of something, and then, you know, we're going to have to like find people to act in it, unless we can do little one-act things or whatever, 2 or 3 person productions. But I'm looking for story now. So if anybody has some ideas, share them with Rich and I. Maybe we can produce a video with you, or a hit movie.
Yeah, there's a challenge.
We could do a spy thriller that centers out of Appalachia and southern England.
I'll get my Dickie bow on. Black
Right. Oh, geez. So I've just been wandering around to give you a little bit of different background, Rich, so it's not just my face the whole time. What other things shall we share with the world today?
I know. I think everyone's been watching my extension videos that's been going on to the house. We're getting to a point now where the builder that was doing it had to go into hospital. He was been waiting for a routine operation, and they rang him up and said, "Can you come in Monday?" So he had a conversation with us around it, and we said, "Look, just go and do it. You know, you could be waiting another 6 months for it, and if they've offered you it, go and do it." So he's been off for about 3 weeks. So there's the front garden to finish. The interior is done. The carpets are coming next week. Because the thing is, in the UK, it just takes time to order stuff, and because when we ordered the settees, the new 3-piece suite, it's like 15 weeks wait to get it.
Wow.
And it just is madness. So everything just takes time to have the radiators fitted, to electrician coming in, to carpets being fitted, to the artificial grass that's going outside, a delay on the doors because the factory hadn't done them properly. So there's just a combination of things that it just takes so much more time than, you know, what we thought it would take. But we should have realised that's what's going to happen, because we do live in the UK after all. So you do get delayed on everything that you ever do. But waiting, you know, to order something and wait 15 weeks for it to even be delivered is just madness.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't been a part of a building project over here in a while, but things do move at good clips typically in America. I guess maybe just more competition, more materials and things, you know, at hand faster. So yeah, I mean, that has to be frustrating. It is cool to watch your building go up, your extension go up, and I am interested to see now that you got some people actually following that, watching that, and kind of enjoying it. I can't wait to see the finished product, and I can't wait to see what it enables you to do when you got your studio up and running too, Rich. So yeah, looking forward to your future with that. That's going to be kind of neat.
Yeah, that's something that I want to. That's the room, obviously, I'm in now. This is Ethan's couch that he sits on and watches this TV. So that'll all be going. I'm surrounded by these things because they're just all down to the left-hand side of me. Just a pile of them. Because I've cleaned them all off the back of here because this is where they all sit along here. There's actually one in here that.
That is cool. I have
all
to say, I hope you keep some of those props in your studio, Rich. It's kind of cool to be able just to pull those out of anywhere. Not many people can pull a monkey out from behind their back.
There we got even a Kinder.
Oh, look at that.
And everyone will probably recognize this fella.
Oh, that's Uncle Fester?
No, I was wrong then.
Wait a minute. What? It was like a Pixar
clue.
thing.
You ready?
What is
Ready?
it?
There you go. There's another clue.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yes.
They're both in the same film together. Yeah, so I want to be able to have everything set up a bit like yourself. So when I come in, because sometimes I've been driving home or something and I have an idea about something I want to talk about or I want to broadcast. Then I come home, get distracted by doing something else, and then I have to set my lights up, have to set my computer up, and all those sorts of things. And it sort of drifts off of me into the abyss of everything else in life. But at least if I've got it set up, I can just come in, do it. If I've got an unboxing to do that new light that I've bought, I've still not done that yet. There's an unboxing of a new Karcher window cleaner that I've got that I need to do. There's just stuff that comes in all the time. I want to do the unboxing of the TVs and hang them up and use that because they're both Panasonic ones. So there's things in the pipeline. It's just having the opportunity to do it instantly rather than having to take time to set it all up and get a nice production, because I don't want it to be rubbish where I'm just stood there holding it up just talking about it. I want to be able to have a nice white background and show the product and do all that stuff. So rather than do it and just make it look crap, I don't want it to look like that. I want it to look nice.
I'm sort of in the same boat, different subject matter. I've been, to get out of the office just to relieve some stress and all, because I go in, I work pretty hard from morning till lunchtime. Doesn't take. I've been trying to eat less at lunch. It doesn't take me long to eat my lunch, but I've been going out and doing driving videos again, which I kind of quit for a while. But I mean, there in Asheville, it's pretty in the summer. I'm in Spruce Pine, it's pretty in the summer. I was in Marion the other day, and so I end up eating my lunch in 5 minutes and then just driving around for 30 or 40 minutes. And I'm sitting on a ton of video that is pretty interesting. And I don't know if you've watched any of the new driving videos, Rich. Do you like the approach I'm using on stopping on certain things, zooming in on them, talking about them a little bit, pointing out things that I find are interesting instead of just busting it down the road? Are those more watchable that way, you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think some of the videos that I've shot before, if I find something that's interesting, I will stop the video and try and zoom in the best I can, especially if you're shooting it 4K or 2.7, you can afford to zoom in a little bit more. So I will do that. But it's what I found interesting about those videos is going, oh, I've seen that before and I've been down that road and I've done that. Yeah. That makes it so much more fun for me, because we drove around Asheville a little bit, so yeah. I can see that road, I can remember that bit and remember that bit. It looks a bit different when it's all green and sunny.
Yeah. But
it's nice to see the videos, and I think it's more interesting when you point things out, because you might miss it when you drive past. For me watching it, I might see something and it goes past and I'm on to the next bit. At least if you stop it and look at it and explain what it is, it makes it it makes the driving videos a better quality with more depth and more story.
Yeah, that's and once again, that I think more than anything is what's going to grow YouTube channels now. Is the other day I posted a video of we had a black snake crawl through the yard, and I still from time to time like to share just simple videos. Hey, here's a black snake in our yard. but I'm probably not going to do as much of that as I used to. I'm going to start doing more something that tells a story, something that breaks down a piece of video and why I think it's kind of special and cool. And the other thing, now that the new Premiere Pro has come out, the Premiere Pro CC 2015, the color grading tools in there are so much more accessible and easy to use. I'm going to start trying to make the video look a little better, and I don't want to make it look artificial, so I want to be careful. I want to tell the real story as far as color goes. But the truth is, my driving videos in the past have been a bit dull because I've done nothing to them. I've done no color grading at all. And the GoPro, I would say, gets about 80% of what the color really is when you're driving around. And if you manipulate it just a little bit, you get close to reality. And sometimes you can go a little bit over the edge. So I'm trying to be careful not to misrepresent the color on things. But I also feel like I've not put the effort into really showing good quality video in the past. I'm going to focus on some story, bringing out some highlights, giving people a reason to want to tune in and see them rather than just me talking, point out things I think are cool, artistic things that I think are neat. I even zoomed in on a logo the other day on one of the videos. Yeah, I'm going to start showing people things that I like. Hey, there's a car here that I like the looks of this, or I like this advertisement on this wall, isn't that neat? Or, you know, who would think to put, you know, a beautiful flower over here, you know, growing out of this statue or whatever. You know, I'm going to start trying to do things like that when I do my driving videos, and I guess have a little bit more of a narrative or something, a little more pizzazz about those videos.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan. I think you can watch driving videos and, you know, it's good to see the area and everything, but I'm not sure how much attention they get and the length of time that people watch it. So putting those little bits in and changing the color and making it look nice and well presented, you should get more views on those videos because they are interesting. You can just point out more interesting things to see.
It would be great to get to a point, yeah, where those are actually fun to watch for people and it becomes something they check in on, because they're fairly easy to do. They're not so hard to edit. They're a bit time consuming, but it's fun. It's actually that. I guess if I had my druthers on things that I would like to do, I'd like to do more driving videos, more exploration videos, more showing people spots to go visit, and less, I guess, tutorials and things, although the tutorials are the reason most people come to my site. So I'm always going to be doing some of those. I try to give the tutorial people and the review people what they want, but then share the fun things that I like to do too.
Yeah, and I think you cover all bases quite well. I find all your videos that you do interesting, but then I know you a bit more than maybe someone who just tunes in to watch it, just comes across it. But at least you'd be able to hold their attention a lot longer if you're doing that with the videos. Sounds like a great idea, something that I may do more of going forward as well, because there is a lot of interesting places around here that I drive past every day and don't really talk about.
Yeah. Rich, let's talk a little bit about this video that we're shooting here now, this interview. This is interesting to me. So we're recording this and it's live, and I don't know if it's going out to the world. If we didn't invite people now, they're not seeing it. It's just you and I. But you will promote this. It will go live on YouTube as soon as you tell it to go live. Have you thought about taking a video like this and downloading it from YouTube and cutting it up and reposting it or anything? I mean, how, you know, will people watch us talk for 45 minutes?
I don't know. We'll soon find out. They tuned in and watched us do the other videos when I was over there when we did live broadcasts together. So, you know, there's not a huge amount of difference in this, what we're doing now, because the cameras are changing backwards and forwards. You know, as long as what we talk about is interesting, maybe people are not even at this point watching us now, so we could say anything we like about them.
That's the cool thing about recording the way we're doing it now. It's just you and I, and we can go back in post. Again, I don't know if a lot of people know that they can go and download their YouTube videos after they've gone live. You can just go there and you have a download button, and then you can go in and edit them and repost, I guess. I mean, So the thing I liked about this is you and I have tried this before, where we record on my end, you record on your end, then we have to share the videos, and you have to edit it together. I like the fact that YouTube is actually doing that for us now, or Google is. And then if you want to, all you have to do is download and take out parts that you don't want. You don't have to do an A-B edit like that. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to try doing it this way.
I think the next time you need to be sat at your desk doing it, if we can find a way of doing that. Because there's loads of movement on the camera. So I don't know how people are going to feel about that moving around as much as what it is.
Hopefully not too bad. I am trying to. I've held it in one hand. I've held it in two hands. I've kind of propped it on my knee. But yeah, it's odd. I don't know why I couldn't get. I tried the links. I tried all the links that you sent, and I don't know. But the other thing too is I wondered, did the little Nexus here hijack it? Did it pick up the signal, or does it just understand a Hangout better than what my PC does? It's hard to say why I was unable to connect in there or over there. Over there is where I was, and but I was able to connect okay right here with this little. I don't know. Are you seeing this in high def? Is it like 720p, or does it look clear at all?
No, not really. It's a little the quality of it's not that. It's not amazing, but it's, you know, it's easy to watch. It's not a fuzzy picture or anything like that. I'm not sure what it's broadcasting in or what you're recording in. Is it a 720 or is it 1080 or?
I have no idea. Like I say, it's a little Google. I guess it's a Nexus 7 is what it is. It's I could go to yeah, it's a 7-inch little iPad clone thing. I think I bought it for a couple $100. And it has a little camera right over here to this side of it. But then to watch you, I have to look over here to this side, and that's why my eyes keep shifting over to the other way. So, yeah, it's like I either watch you or I look straight into the little eyeball there.
But it's been good to talk about these cameras. I think, you know, back to this bit. It's an outstanding camera. If you want to buy one, go and buy one. I guess the price is going to start dropping as more and more 4Ks come out. But this straight out of the box has never let me down. And I've used it a lot. And I know you've used yours a lot. So if you're in the market for a 4K camera, this is a proven product now.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty out there. I've not known of any issues for me personally with it. And I've looked on the forums. There doesn't seem to be a great deal. There may be some around SD cards, but that's because people don't buy the right ones. So if you're in the market for a 4K compact camera, this is the one that I would recommend at this point anyway. How about you, Tony?
Yeah, I love it. And dealing with 4K video is a challenge. You have to have a pretty stout computer. You have to have a lot of memory. You have to have big hard drives. It takes a lot longer to upload it. But my goodness, to sit and watch it when you have a 4K output source or, you know, display that you can watch it on, it's very enjoyable. I totally love watching my 4K video. On the only device I have to watch it on is my iMac. But I have to say, I'm glad I'm shooting a lot of 4K now. It can always be sized down to 1080p and shared if you want to share it 1080p. But I think there will come a time 20 years from now when I'm sitting back and reviewing the old videos, I'm going to love the clarity that I have now, and I'll be glad that I shot in 4K and can see these you know, these beautiful places that I'm probably not going to be able to go to when I get old and decrepit, because I'm headed that way. 4K is worth it, in other words, folks. And Rich, you and I've talked to, we're hearing that GoPro is going to go to 8K at some point, which we think is probably ridiculous. But you know what? Still, I want it. If they're going to go the extra mile, give me 8K. I'm going to shoot in 8K as well.
The PCs are going to struggle with it. You know, YouTube's going to struggle with it. Internet speeds are going to struggle with it. There's just going to be. There's lots of moans and groans about the GoPro and 4K, because people are running older software or older laptops and trying to do it. 8K is not even worth thinking about right now, for me anyway. But also when you're shooting 4K, it gives you the opportunity to crop the video somewhat and still hold some good quality in there.
1080p video looks fantastic. It just looks fantastic. So you're right. If you're shooting in 4K and you want to zoom in on areas, it works, and it works great. 4K is like having 4 1080p cameras stitched together, and that is awesome. It's awesome to be able to zoom in on bits of video like that. So yeah, I'm loving the 4K. I love the just the options that it allows. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough on a computer. You better have something a very late high quality processor and lots of RAM, and then lots of storage space. But fortunately, we live in a time when that's not as expensive as it used to be to get those resources together.
Okay, so we'll wrap this up now, because we've been going about an hour now, or the broadcast has anyway. So by the time I chop it up a little bit, and like we say, we totally agree with these cameras. So even if you just buy it to stabilize, for me, that's the thing. Any outstanding thing for you before we close?
Just in the end, it looks great. It looks great. Edit's easy. Color's good. Plenty there for you to work with. It's a dream to edit the video, and for me, that's great. It is great. Also, the stabilization, can't say good about it. The handheld stuff that would have been unwatchable before is certainly very watchable. It's not rock steady because I'm not rock steady, but it takes about 90% of what I used to do to screw my video up and eliminates it. And you can't argue with that. All right, okay, Rich, so, thanks. This has been fun to talk about.
Sure, it's been good. It's been enjoyable to do. What I'll do is I'll end this part of it, and I'll give you a quick call on Skype if you're up for that.
Okay. Okay, I sure am. All right.
Okay, so I'll do that. Thanks for everyone for watching. Go and view Tony's channel if you like down below. I'll put the link in. Go and have a look at some of his videos. They are outstanding. If you want to go into Premiere Pro, you want to learn a bit about that with the Premiere Pro 2015 that's come out, go to Tony's channel and watch that too. So thanks for watching. You have a great day. Is there anything you want to say, Tony?
No, thanks for watching my channel too, folks. Appreciate each and every one of you. Watch Rich's channel.
Okay, you take care.